184,000 Americans that required hospital inpatient care. 10 billion of the 12 billion will go towards hospitals treating 100 or more COVID-19 admissions. HHS is distributing an additional $2 billion to these 395 hospitals in proportion to the amount of care they provide to low-income and uninsured patients. This is consistent with our effort to ensure that Americans who need federal government assistance the most receive it. We'll be releasing a breakdown of the states receiving this funding and the counties receiving this funding, but for your awareness, New York, New Jersey, and Illinois received the most funding by state, while New York, Bronx, New York, and Cook, Illinois received the most funding by.
There's one point in the contempt report for Mark Meadows. One set of questions the January 6th investigators say they need to ask Meadows that I think deserves particular attention. And that's about Meadows' interaction with sitting members of the House and Senate. I mean, here's how those interactions are described in the contempt report. This is from the transcript of the deposition that Meadows didn't show up to. He didn't show up, but the rest of the committee showed up, and the lead counsel for the investigation laid out for the record all the questions they would have asked Mark Meadows had he bothered to appear. Quote, "We would have asked Mr. Meadows about text messages sent to and from members of Congress, including text messages received from a member of Congress in November 2020 regarding efforts to contact state legislators. Because, as Mr. Meadows indicates in his text messages, quote, POTUS, meaning the president, wants to chat with them," end quote. We would have asked Mr. Meadows about text messages sent to and from another member of Congress in November 2020, in which the member of Congress indicates that, quote, that the president asked him to call Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, end quote, and in which Mr. Meadows asks for contact information for the Attorney General of Arizona to discuss allegations of election fraud. Quote, we would have asked Mr. Meadows about text messages sent to and received from members of the House of Representatives and the Senate about objections to the certification of electors in certain states on January 6th. We would have asked him about text messages sent to and received from a U.S. senator regarding the vice president's power to reject electors, including a text in which Meadows recounts a direct communication with President Trump, who, according to Mr. Meadows in his text messages, quote, thinks the legislators, meaning the state legislators, have the power, but the vice president has power too, end quote.
Yeah. That's what you wanted, right?
Remember, the whole ballgame here, the whole point, the whole goal of the plot leading up to January 6th was to try to get Republican officials in the states to provide the means of overturning the election results in just enough states so that Trump could be declared the overall winner. They wanted Republican officials in swing states that voted for Biden to declare that there was fraud and the results in those states should therefore be considered invalid. They wanted Republican legislators.
What? Put this shit up. What?
You know what? I was going to say, maybe he doesn't realize this right now, but better to end it this way than to let the canine get a hold of him. That would probably hurt a lot worse.
Special thank you.
Whatever non-lethal force they use, and
Special
even
thank
to pitch maneuver and ram this vehicle, they do have them on the ground in custody.
Sadly.
I don't know if I asked you this, Desmond. Do we know where this
Sadly.
vehicle was from?
Alright, get out of this.
An individual or do we
My
have
boy.
Yeah, we don't have that information, but what's interesting, Pat, I do know this, is that, Tesla for keys, they don't use a normal key. My understanding is that your key, and they also have like a credit card like device that's also a key. So somehow acquired that from somebody else, or we didn't like that. So we didn't hear about anything. But definitely seems to me like it'd be kind of
$50 trillion deal.
unless someone just kind of left the doors unlocked with the key inside. But regardless, just really glad that CHP didn't allow this to continue on for however many hours, and they decided to shut this one down. Game over. We got one person in custody.
Yeah, look at that manpower down there, and the fact that you got all of those people traveling on finally clear the freeway. So we hope that happens soon for those drivers. So Deb,
Yeah,
we're gonna call this
absolutely.
we're gonna call this a code 4. Must say you've been very busy tonight, sir.
It has been a busy one. Pursuit number 2 of the night, and like I said, we got our second code 4 as well, and just happy didn't last too much longer than that.
You're right about that. All right, Dad. Thanks for that, and we will be right back with more news after this.
CES2 News is sponsored by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com.
At me. At me. Who's Rumble?
There are a lot of things in life we want but can't have. Health insurance shouldn't be one of them. Covered California is making health insurance more affordable for millions of us. Even if you've looked before, you should look again. Enroll by December 31st.
You don't give a fuck about me. Laugh at me, right? You don't give a fuck. Kayla. What the fuck is this thing?
If you were sexually abused as a child in California, it's time to take your power back. Contact Jeff Anderson Associates to learn more. Call confidentially 1-800-ITS TIME.
You don't fuck about me. Then you. Oh, it started at 12, huh? What the fuck is this at?
The rain caused problems for people who live in the many
It was a harrowing day for people in Silverado Canyon. The heavy rain that fell not just an inconvenience, but a danger.
You can feel the momentum. You can hear the rocks and stuff like that. It's uncontrollable.
People who live in Silverado Canyon say they narrowly escaped the wildfire a year ago and now are reliving Mother Nature's fury as rain sent mud and debris tumbling down the hillside and onto people's homes. Off Anderson Road, the mud came down with such force it pushed a car into someone's home.
It made water come down here and started bouncing off these.
Orange County Fire had to conduct rescues Tuesday and issued mandatory evacuations for Silverado Canyon, Majeska Canyon, and Williams Canyon residents.
People were trapped on their properties due to the roads. Out there, the roads are very narrow, inaccessible in many spots when this mud comes down.
Heavy machinery was brought in to clear mud and rocks from the roadways after residents are left to pick up the pieces once again. Residents were allowed back into the community just about 8:30 tonight. Thankfully, no one was hurt today in these mudslides, according to the fire department. Near Silverado Canyon, I'm Vera CBS News.
rescuers still don't know of anyone within the 3 cars swept away by the storm into the LA River in Vernon. LA City Fire says one of the cars was wedged against the bridge and the second car is wedged under a backless. They say it's still dangerous to see if anyone is in those vehicles. And all that rain pushed trash down the LA River and into the seeing crash buildup this afternoon in Viola Creek and Marina Del Rey. And check out the thunder snow tonight in Running Springs. It happens when warm air at the surface rises upwards and collides with cold air above, creating a boom sound. This happened tonight in Running Springs. Snow has been falling there all day, with up to 6 inches reported at resort level tonight in the San Bernardino Mountains. Another person who has been very busy tonight is one Marquina Brown. She's been tracking the storm since yesterday, really, Marquina. And just the rain letting up a bit, but I know you have a report of another system coming our way.
Yeah, we've got a couple more opportunities for rain, Pat. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But now that our storm has moved out, we're really not dealing with rain right now. The big part of the story now is the cold. Rain is out. Now the cold has moved in, and that is our big weather story tonight. We are seeing mountain snow still falling. Some of our mountain communities, Big Bear got some big accumulations. I'll be anxious to see what those numbers are as we head toward later on tonight and tomorrow. But Wrightwood right now, seeing the snow. You go to Big Bear, it's calmed down a little bit, but they had some pretty heavy snowfalls going through earlier this evening, and they are going to be enjoying themselves, I'm sure, over the next few days. In terms of how it feels there, it's cold, and not just in Big Bear, it's cold everywhere. Air temperature there is 21 degrees, but it feels like 9 degrees on the skin in Big Bear. We talked about the possibility of wind chills. We're getting that. Oxnard clear and 45 degrees, but it feels like 45. Last hour, low 40s were easily what it felt like to those folks in Oxnard on the skin. So today, we started out at 49 degrees, ended up at 58. Just so you know, the average high for this time of year. Taking a look at what these current temperatures are. 30s and 40s along the coast. We've got some upper 40s from Malibu to LAX, low 40s from Long Beach. You go to the valleys of Van Nuys, you're at 44 degrees. Burbank are at 42. Comparing those numbers to 24 hours ago, yeah, you're feeling a difference. As that system made its way through, it brought all the rain, and wrapped behind it was the colder air that we are seeing right now. We are 11 degrees colder in Burbank compared to this time last year. Colder by 18 in Fullerton. And what we're going to do tonight for overnight lows is be cold. 30s and 40s is all we're looking at. 37 degrees in the overnight low in Van Nuys. You're looking at 36 in Ontario and low 40s for downtown LA. Winds no longer an issue. As you can see, those have calmed nicely, and all of the watches and warnings are slowly and surely starting to expire. Still looking out for that high wind warning and that wind advisory. Take a look at precipitation chances. It increases a little as we head toward Thursday. That's system number one, or at least possible system number one. It looks like we're not going to get much rain from that, but we will get the clouds. Possible system number two, right here on Tuesday. Looks like we're going to get some rain from that. But between those two systems, what we are going to see is sunshine and somewhat warmer temperatures. So again, as we head toward tomorrow, we will be below average. We'll be all right as we head toward Thursday, and then we'll do it all over again. It looks like as we head toward next week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Martina. Well, could a COVID pill be getting the green light? And if so, how soon could patients start taking it? And rapper Snoop Dogg makes a special appearance at a recent LA Kings game in Jim Hill. Has that later in sports. The CHP, CBS News, and Channel 9 are teaming up for the Chips for Kids. There are lots of ways for you to donate. Just go to cbsla.com/kids. Information on donation locations and lots more. You can text toys to 76278. Donate right now.
Okay.
Mrs. Claus, the shopping boss here, to help you Vera savers decorate with the best bargains ever. Ross has savings on everything you need to get the party started. Because who waits for shipping anymore? Or get
When you shop at Simpson Chevrolet, you always get more.
Now, during the holiday Red Tag event, you can save on one of the best selections of the year. Even hard-to-find new Chevy Silverados are red tagged and ready for immediate delivery.
Come visit our showroom or shop online at SimpsonGM.com. Your family-owned Simpson Chevrolet. You're picking up the deal.
Careers Post Plus, tell us about the product and your passion for helping people.
Here at Nature we do all sorts of plant-based meal replacements, the weight loss shakes, great tasting products. So we've experienced deaths in our family due to diabetes and other diet-related illnesses.
Yeah.
So we felt it was time to do something about it. Mix it with some blueberries and with some strawberries, and we think it'll taste great, help you lose weight, and it's plant-based. You'll find this at Costco, Amazon, Target, and Whole Foods.
Mrs. Claus, the shopping bot here to help you merry savers find the best bargains ever. When you have the world's longest list, you go to Ross, so you can work that budget and get the savings. I love saying yes to more merry for less at Ross.
Get the CBS Los Angeles app on any device. Local news, sports, weather, video on demand, and CBS in LA. All in just one tap. Download now.
I love the look of your Superman. How do you feel about the fact that he doesn't have the big red underwood?
Well, Vera's got a new lead show with Henry Cavill tonight.
Pfizer says its antiviral pill Paxlovid cut the risk of hospitalizations or death by 89%.
All right.
It's given to high-risk adults within a few days of their first symptoms. Lab results also show the drug works against the Omicron variant. The FDA could authorize the drug within days, and patients could begin receiving it by the end of the year. This news comes as the U.S. COVID death toll surpasses 800,000. Plus, the Los Angeles School Board tonight agreed to delay enforcing its student COVID-19 vaccine mandate until the fall of 2022. The original deadline was January 10th, 2022. It was revealed on Friday that about 28,000 students had not complied yet and would be barred from in-person schooling. Well, Jimmy will hear now the look ahead at sports. Such an exciting night.
Yeah, an exciting night. We were talking about the virus. The virus hit the sports world today, and it hit it really hard. Coming up next week, COVID-19 continues to plague the Rams, and now